Pone. Niue High School has confirmed the appointment of 8 new teachers, a huge step in development as the school addresses its staffing shortage.
They're not in good condition, they aren't being stored correctly, they're not a priority.
A plea from distinguished Hiapo practitioner Kora Ellen Lafaiki Twist to Niue's Prime Minister to assist in the repatriation of 2 Hiapo in Scotland. And the Niue Rugby League Toa Motu season kicks off this Saturday with a new team entering the competition. Ke he tau whisi siale moi tau whisi puaha Niue whekai whakalofalahi atu. Welcome to BCN News. Niue High School Principal Charles Iowane has announced the appointment of 8 new teachers, marking significant progress in addressing the school's chronic teacher shortage, which has seen over 10 positions vacant since last year. The new appointments include teachers for intermediate, intervention, horticulture and English subjects, as well as a PE teacher and head of department for health who arrives tomorrow. However, the arrival date of the second English teacher remains uncertain. One parent who wished not to be named told BCN that the new appointments came as a small relief, as the teacher shortage had been a struggle for their child whose learning had become their own responsibility in their second to last year of school. The parents shared that they were driven to seek help from New Zealand to assist in their child's learning. Principal Iowane acknowledged that the teacher shortage had caused disruptions, but noted a significant improvement since 6 out of the 8 new teachers joined the school over the past 3 weeks. Distinguished Hiapo practitioner Kora Ellen Lafaiki Twist has embarked on a mission to repatriate 2 fragile Hiapo artefacts from a Scottish museum to Niue, where they can be restored to their former glory. As part of a special archives residency in Scotland, Lafaiki Twist was granted a special viewing of the artefacts, which are part of a vast collection of Niuean and Pacific taonga across 6 Scottish museums. However, her encounter with the 2 fragile artefacts has sparked a plea to Niue's Prime Minister to assist in their repatriation home due to their poor condition and inadequate care at their current facility.
It really stirred something in me, so I'm hoping to get permission from our Prime Minister, which I need to create a process of repatriation of our Niue taonga, especially ones like this that are at the bottom of a priority list but have handwritten font on it, highly decorated with intense patterning that can reconnect our generation of artists and our tangata to our tupuna from that time where they were made.
She hopes to bring the Hiapo back to Niue where they can be preserved and cherished again.
One of the ones that needs more care. You can see it, but it says Avesele. And when I saw Avesele amongst the text, because there's a giant piece of text, so it's cursive writing and it's actually quite big, which makes this one so important to go after, because that's a direct time when our tupuna were, the world was changing, and this is shown on the Hiapo through that writing. And also we'll be able to have language experts look into the writing further.
Invited to Scotland by curators of the National Museum of Scotland and the Hunterian Museum, Lafaiki Twist has become the first Hiapo maker to revisit the country's vast collection of Niuean treasures that have included ancient Hiapo, tapa, weaving and spears collected during the 18th and 19th centuries. More than 10 acres of land has been cleared at Hikuwhenonga site in Tamakotonga beside Niue Airport for the new solar panel farm funded by the New Zealand government. The $20 million project aims to enable Niue to generate 80% of its electricity from renewable energy by next year as part of Niue's National Strategic Energy Plan. BCN News spoke with the Director of Utilities, Clinton Chapman, at the new site.
This is 10 acres. There will be 10 acres of solar panels, and one of the areas will have its own battery energy storage system on site. So in a year's time, this will have a whole array of solar panels, a bit like the one at the front of the airport, but it'll be probably 10 times the size of that one.
The team from the Department of Utilities have been working to clear the vegetation from the former agricultural site before the arrival of the new solar panels that will be shipped over 40 containers and installed in the coming months. Chapman says the new system is expected to reduce the frequent power outages across the island and offer more reliable electricity to residents.
It will provide a more resilient power supply system, a cheaper, reliable system for the country, which will reduce significantly if the power outages that we've been experiencing over the last 3 to 4 years. It will reduce annual consumption of diesel fuel at the power station using diesel engines by about 750,000 litres a year. So if you times that by $3.11, it's at what we're paying now per litre to purchase and generate the power. It's a significant saving for power supply and more reliable system for the consumers.
The project is slated for completion by February next year. Songs and hymns filled Niue Millennium Hall at the weekend as families gathered for the annual Ahomea celebrations, where village groups showcased their traditional songs. The celebration serves as a fundraiser for Niue's Ecclesia Cristiano Church, who this year raised over $49,000. The funds are traditionally collected for distribution among Niue's Ecclesia pastors and akuako in recognition of their voluntary work for the church.
Some people maybe see it as just a fundraiser for the Ecclesia, but it really depends. It's a personal, I don't know, you find it yourself, I guess. For me personally, I like being here because I like listening to the hymns, and it's also an opportunity for each village to learn when you practice the songs, because some of the songs we're losing those.
Among those in attendance was the New Zealand High Commissioner to Niue, Mark Gibb, and Australia's Acting High Commissioner, Hannah Kent-Spark. The day concluded with a traditional Tā Sika Champion of Champion match. As his contract comes to a close in July, Telecom Niue Chief Executive Anurag Tandon shared his positive experiences living and working in Niue. In an interview with Mere Satakala, he sat down and outlined the exciting projects Telecom Niue has lined up for the year.
Telecom Niue CEO Anurag Tandon has revealed 4 major projects for this year, with the expanding coverage around the BCN site, strengthening the network in Alofi, bringing more reliable services to the villages, and laying the groundwork for the future. As part of this long-term vision, Telecom Niue will continue work on the second island fiber ring.
In the year 2025, we are looking at running 4 projects. Primarily, there will be others which will be smaller in nature, but 4. One would be the continuation of the rollout of the second island fiber. The idea is to have another fiber ring of larger capacity, connecting all villages on the island as well as our sites. The ultimate aim is to bring fiber to every household. The idea is that we will, in the coming years, replace all the copper lines which are there, which currently power our fixed lines, and move to fiber.
Tandon says their main project is the installation of optical fiber.
The main project which we are looking at doing is installation of optical fiber repeaters. We have coverage around the island, but there are some villages who have seen that there is a decreasing coverage because of the growth of the vegetation. So that keeps blocking the signals. And to roll out a new site is an extremely expensive proposition.
Staff shortage is still always a challenge. Telecom Niue currently has a staff of 28.
Manpower is a challenge which all of us on the island face. So all these projects, especially the rollout of the fiber, is quite manpower intensive, and we need at least 6 to 8 personnel deployed to roll out the fiber, to dig the trench there, to roll out the fiber, cover it up. So the progress is much slower than what we anticipated we would have.
Mersa Takala, BCN News.
Niue Solicitor General Justin Kamupala has welcomed the announcement of a new justice building in Alofi. He says marks a significant development for Niue. Earlier this month, New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Honourable Winston Peters announced that New Zealand would support Niue with the design and construction of a new justice building. As Niue's third arm of the government, Kamupala said the judiciary required facilities on par with those of legislature and executive and a fit-for-purpose building to provide essential services to the people of Niue. And excavation is already underway. This month, workers began clearing a site beside Fualahi, where the new premises will be situated. New Zealand High Commissioner to Niue, Mark Gibb, confirmed an infrastructure engineer would be arriving to the island later this month.
New Zealand's offered to build the new justice building, and we've already had lots of conversations around Niue with interested stakeholders like Crown Council, members of the justice community here, to understand what the building requirements are needed. And then we've got our infrastructure engineer, she's on island end of this month to do some more work around what are the core requirements. But really pleased about that.
Niue's cabinet has yet to appoint a third commissioner for the Public Service Commission, despite the critical role it plays as the government's employing authority. The commission, which consists of 3 commissioners, has been operating with 2 members since the term of former chairperson Aira Talangi Hekesi ended in December last year. Currently, Commissioner Fisa Pihingia is serving as the acting chairperson alongside Commissioner Whapoi Akesi. Deputy Secretary of Government Gayleen Tasmania confirmed to BCN News that a press release would be issued once the new appointment was made. The Public Service Commission is responsible for overseeing the government's employment matters. And in sports, the Niue Rugby League Toa Motu season kicks off this Saturday, welcoming newcomer Mutalau to the competition. Niue Rugby League President Dave Ulukita confirmed 5 teams will compete in the Nines Village competition, with Mutalau joining Avasele, Tuapa, Hakupu and Alofi. The season opens with a highly anticipated match between newcomers Mutalau and heavyweight contenders Avasele. In preparation, Carl Varsel from the New Zealand Referees Association conducted an online Zoom session on Monday to refresh referees, coaches and players on the Nines rules. Games kick off at 9 a.m. at the Tuasea grounds in Hakupu. Locals are encouraged to attend and support their favourite teams. To end our show, we leave you with these awesome images from our colourful students at Niue Primary School who held their mufti with a difference day today. Principal Carol Edwards said to add a twist to their usual mufti, they introduced a crazy hair day for students who turned out in unique and funky hairstyles. Their mufti day serves as a fundraiser for the school's sports day next term. The school will hold a mufti day with a difference up until their sports day on May 30th. That's our show for tonight. If you have a story to share, you can contact us on our Facebook and Instagram page or visit us at the Met Office. For more news updates, you can also check out our website tvniue.com. A special whakalawhātu to our viewers from across the region and to our partners at Pacifica TV. I'm Moana Makapelu Lee, Monuina.